This Perp back with another video, and last night I just watched episode 4 of Heels, season 1. I would have had my review up a little bit sooner, but it was getting late and I was out all day. So trying to do reviews with no sleep is really tough, so I had to kind of recharge. But make sure you hit that like button if you like this episode. Hit the like button if you dislike this episode. Follow me on Twitter at perpminded420 and consider subscribing for more content because October's right around the corner and you don't want to miss out on Perptober. We're going to be dropping a lot of content here on the channel very soon. That's pretty much normal, but let's get right into this review. Now, for me, this is what I really like about this show. We get to see the different inner workings of the wrestling business, the difference between corporate and like the indie space. We get a lot more of Wild Bill here. They're checking out like this new championship belt that's got lights on it and all that stuff, and you could tell that this is eating away at Bill. Tom's death has definitely taken a toll on him kind of selling his soul to work for this corporation. He's just not happy. You see that throughout this whole entire episode. So he goes to stay at Willie's house for a while just to kind of, find himself, I guess. I don't know. And it's interesting, and I had a feeling when they showed these two talking a lot, that Willie and Bill had history in the past. On the other side of things, you have a fire going on at Jack's house. He has to put it out. He's starting to kind of not. Well, him and his wife are starting to kind of have issues. Him and Stacy. Stacy kind of just wants to work and do her own thing and not have to just, be at a standstill. And Jack, he doesn't want that at first. He just wants to be able to take care of everybody, take care of his family. But he realizes he can't just do everything by himself. I think that's what he's starting to realize in this episode. And maybe Jack is kind of making a turn with his life. I don't know. But there's some interesting things I want to talk about towards the end of this review. So now going over back to the Dome, you got Crystal cutting all the wrestlers' hair and stuff. And this is where Bobby, I finally know his name now. Bobby, he's, trying to ask Crystal for advice. He actually takes a liking to Crystal. He even asks her about the whole Ace situation. Like, did he apologize for that? And, he's definitely trying to shoot his shot at this moment. Not at this moment, because he really wants to, find his identity as far as him being a wrestler. And he asks Crystal for help. And all throughout this episode, they're just hanging out and chilling and really getting to know one another. And you see that Crystal is loyal to Ace, even though Ace kind of treated her like shit that one night, that last episode. But speaking of the inner workings of the business, you have this scene of Jack and Willie going to their sponsors, trying to pitch this idea and try to get some more money because, they're not drawing in as many people as they need to, and their sponsors aren't that happy neither. They might pull away and stuff, and that's going to be problematic for Jack. On the other side of things, Bill is trying to get back into good graces with his with the company, because they do show us exactly how his whole viral moment went, and I was just like, that's a little extra, but it stars. It's weird. It's just, why do we have to see full frontal bit? It's just, I don't know. It was weird to me. Then we go over to Ace, and you see this chick trying to pretty much hit on Ace, and Ace is kind of like just blows her off, just not like, kind of ignores her at first because, he still likes Crystal at this moment. This is where Bill pops up on Ace and starts to kind of have a conversation with him. And I'm really interested to see where that whole relationship is going to go between these two. Like, is Bill just manipulating Ace into kind of just, messing up his life as well? Or is it just his way to kind of, talk to him, and maybe Bill will get some type of redemption? I don't know, man. It's interesting to me because now we get this scene at this dinner table. Everybody sit down. Seems like everything's all good, but we finally get to see how the mom feels about this, because the son of Jack asks, like, I forget his name off the top of my head, and he's like, is Grandpa in heaven or something? I'm paraphrasing, and she responds, no, he's burning in hell, because that's what happens to people that kill themselves and stuff. And just like, whoa, that's effed up, man. It's just like, and that just completely ruins dinner, and everybody just kind of goes about, does their own thing. We get the scene of Ace talking to his nephew. That's something I always do. Like, I always try to talk to my nephew before he goes to sleep and stuff. We always like having conversations and stuff like that. And it really shows you that, his nephew really loves Ace. And I feel like Ace wants to be a better person. And he really is starting to embrace being a heel at the same time, being the bad guy. Ace and Jack are starting to get along watching these old promo tapes. As Bobby finally is able to kind of find his personality thanks to Crystal, we go over to, them making this promo, which was really dope for the show and whatnot. And this is where things seem like they're going in a positive direction, but they quickly go right back downhill as we get towards the end of the episode. This is where things are interesting to me, because Bill is having a conversation with Willie about Jack and their Jack and Ace's father, Tom. And this is the second time that Jack is blamed for his father's death. And I'm wondering exactly what's the backstory of that, because even Ace says that, Jack wasn't there when their pops pretty much offed himself. And I'm wondering if we're going to get that backstory, because we saw where Ace was when that happened. He actually saw his father's body. I don't know what Jack was doing at this point. I'm wondering if we're going to get that flashback. It's going to be interesting. So I like the conversation. All right, before we get to the whole conversation with Ace and his mother, Ace goes to kind of make things right with Crystal, but it's too late as he sees her with Bobby, and starts to kind of second guess it and just think like, oh, so she's kind of pretty much done with me. Ends up banging the chick from the bar, which I feel like he's gonna regret. And you could tell that he's upset. He's upset again. Anytime Ace becomes happy, something ends up messing that up. Then I like what him and his mother have have a conversation about, and Ace says, you were like this before Dad offed himself, and maybe if you asked yourself the question why, maybe you can move on. Jack's on his way to tell Bill to just stay away from everybody, while on the phone with Stacy, telling Stacy that Stacy telling him that she has a job now, or a guy has a job interview, and all Jack wants for his wife is to be happy. So he's like, yeah, go ahead and do that. All I want you to do is be happy. That's no issue with me. Which leads Jack to go find Bill in just a terrible, broken mess. And maybe Jack might try to take him under his wing to kind of help him. We're just gonna have to wait and find out. But this has just been my quick thoughts. Not really a quick thought, but these are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know how you felt about this episode. I thought this was a strong episode. Definitely some slow moments, but I kind of enjoy those slower moments so we can get to know these characters, So when we see them in the ring, it's a little bit more impactful. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Until next week, I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.